Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a fabulous Friday in the studio as I record. So grateful to get the opportunity to share my voice and connect with each and every one of you across time and space and all the magical airwaves, however this gets out there. It's, just really focusing on being grateful. That gratitude, man, it really, it leads to more things to be grateful for. And it's, honestly, I have had times in the past months, weeks, years where it's just like not feeling lit up, not feeling inspired to, even when it's time to do the podcast, I've got to dig down deep and find that gratitude and find that inspiration, in spirit, tapped in. And, I just want to say for those of you who aren't always feeling inspired, me neither. I have those moments and that's okay. And like, I think it's so important to love ourselves where we are, as we are, who we are. And I am someone who, we all are people who experience a broad swath of emotions, if you will. And you're not supposed to feel like unicorns and rainbows and inspired all the time. And that's okay. So yeah, talking to me, talking to you, talking to us. And one of the things that does help keep me inspired, back in the early days, I used to get a lot of reviews on iTunes, and it really, or Apple Podcasts now. It really, it just fuels me to hear feedback. And honestly, I hear less these days than I used to. And, just lately I've gotten some, feedback in the last few days again. And I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time that have done that. It's not always easy to do the show. It's not always, I'm not always feeling like, my brightest and best self necessarily, and digging down deep to show up, it helps me to do that. And so, I just, there's been a couple of good ones here that have come in. And if you haven't taken the time to review and you feel inspired too, I would love it. I definitely appreciate it. If not, that's okay too. But this one from, I'm going to read one. I haven't read one in a while. Lil Bear 2121 said, Brandon is awesome. I have been listening to this podcast since 2015 and will always come back because the impact Brandon had on me moving forward in my spiritual journey. Brandon puts the extra love and care to make interactive and fun ways to listen, but he honestly blew me away when I DM'd him on Instagram when I had no one to turn to, expecting maybe he would read my question on a podcast. The conversation was very personal, and by my surprise, he actually sent a voice message back, helping and answering my questions. Brandon, you have my support for life, and I recommend everyone on any stage of your journey. Aw. I don't know exactly when that was, but I'm glad I showed up and was able to Lil Bear just to help. And it feels good. Thank you for taking the time to reflect back. And like I said, Apple Podcast is really the place to do it if you feel inspired to send me a little note or a little question. I don't really get questions like I used to either. And I love getting questions. It really, it's something to, as a generator in human design, I thrive on input, right? So if you give me something, all my creative juices start going. So generators respond. And so give me something to respond to. Send me an email, brandon@positivehead.com. Let's interact more. I want to, I'm longing for the early days of the show when things felt new and exciting, and it's so easy to get jaded, isn't it? Or just, exposure can breed indifference, right? The more we're exposed to something, we thrive on novelty and newness. And, this isn't new to me at this point. It may be new to someone listening today, right? But certainly there's been lots of listeners come and go, I'm sure, and some come back again. It sounds like Low Bear's been back and forth. And, how can we co-create? How can you be more involved? And by interacting with me, maybe ask the question that someone else is scared to ask that is exactly what they need to hear as well. It's an opportunity to hijack the airwaves in a sense and create that karmic loop. What I always say is the good kind of selfish, right? The reason I love to help others is because I know they're an extension of self, and I inevitably will feel the energetic repercussions of doing so. So not only does it feel great in the moment, and all the feel-good chemicals, etc., are released in my brain and heart and mind and everything, just it feels so good to help and support and to see someone be lifted up from your actions. But also, I know it's in giving that we receive, and the good kind of selfish. So, yeah. Anywho, what else do I want to chat about today? Well, I saw something the other day that really jumped out at me. I thought was super, super powerful. It was referencing a study from MIT researchers. I guess it looks like it was a few years back when I looked into it a little bit. There was something called the Spain scale of emotion. MIT and some researchers in Germany basically came up with a way to measure emotions. And what's cool about this, of course, is it shows that vibes, we always talk about vibes. It's not woo-woo, it's scientific. And emotions can be measured. You can, it's getting really interesting what's happening with AI. And, it's been years back and it's only improving, where they can literally look at your brainwaves and map out what it is you're thinking about, like a street with cars on the side and a palm tree. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's really the blending of this dimension and the next. That's how I see our evolution. It's sort of our evolution. My sort of theory or perspective on it is it's really about taking down the veil between this dimension and the next. And so what do you think about when you imagine and feel into the knowing that's maybe deep in your soul of what it's like to be on the other side? Well, I think about, if I think of something that instantly appears with my soul family and soul group, there's nothing that's hidden. It's all transparent. We read each other's thoughts. We speak telepathically. We instantly manifest and create and teleport, that kind of energy you think about being in spirit, right? And so these sorts of things happening in science really kind of, what? A machine that can read our thoughts and translate it into pictures and video and story, and machines that read our emotions and can kind of, rate or rank, to understand the power of these emotions. And, what's really fascinating about this study is when looking at what the strongest emotion is, what would you guess is the strongest emotion? I bet you most of you thought when I asked that question, love, right? That's what I would have thought. And the answer is not love, it's authenticity. Authenticity is 4 times stronger on this, according to the Spain scale of emotion, this whole study, than love. And wow, that just really, really, hearing it, I was like, that makes sense, actually. Authenticity is truth. You think of the Bible. supposedly God or Jesus, I can't remember who, quoted one of the two. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I am the way, the truth, and the light. What is true? When are you being authentic? Only when you're being true. Only when your words are true. Only when you believe what you're saying. Only when you are tapping into the unique, once in a universe, lifetime, inspiration that you are. You are this unique emanation of source consciousness that no one has ever been like you before or ever will be like you again. And only when you're tapping into your true, deep, pure authenticity, your truth, are you able to tap into the superpowers that are your birthright. So if you're someone who is a creator, right, you're a musician, whatever you do, don't just try and emulate someone else. If you've got a job, like a sales job, for example, that's a great opportunity for someone to be inauthentic in order to, get the sale by saying the right thing or do the thing, to impress the person, to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, right? If you're not being authentic, you're fooling yourself. And here's scientific research kind of backing that up. It's felt. Vibes are not woo-woo, they're scientific. It's a real vibration. Energy is a real thing. We're getting to where we can measure it. We can do really, really weird and interesting things with it. And if you are not tapping into your authenticity, you are selling yourself short. So if you want to know what path to take in any given moment, put all external variables aside and say, what is my truth? And you stop trying to see the outcome and predict the outcome and connect the dots with your relatively little human brain compared to the incredible brilliance of your higher self, and just step into your authenticity and let the cards fall where they may. And if you will do that and start trusting in life in that way, I have no doubt that it will lead you in the most unexpected ways to success and the unfurling of your greatest and grandest self. And this has been, wow, I love this idea and this topic and this concept because it's such a big one for me in my own journey, learning how to be truly authentic, how to not, use words as weapons and manipulation and all the things that come with being good with words. And it's been a lifelong journey. And it's, if you can take this and understand that your superpower is you being your authentic self and just let that be your North Star, your guiding compass, in every decision, every move you make, if you just come back, shut out all the external noise and say, okay, cool, I've taken all the things into consideration. Now I'm going to take the thing that matters most. What is authentic to me? What is my truth? And if I'm that, I can trust no matter what the outcome, it's going to be the best possible path and place for me to wind up from this. It's the ultimate navigation tool. It's the ultimate compass. And as we get better at utilizing this internal compass, we become more. We become our greatest selves, and we are the example to others to do the same. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Yes, indeed. Seems like an appropriate time to share my dear friend Ronit's new song, "I Choose Me," and she was on the show years back. She has, as my partner Karen says, she's got an anointed voice. It's such a beautiful voice and perfect lyrics for this topic today. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy. Until next time, journey well.